Alrighty-o. Hello, kits and cats, bits and bats. Welcome
My
to a very special episode of Two in a Pod. I am one of your hosts, Emma.
and I'm the cooler host, Mya. I interrupted Emma before because she said bits and bats, kids and cats at the start. Let's change things up.
Changing things up here. Now, you may be wondering, Emma and Maya, why are you on FaceTime and screen recording FaceTime? We will tell you. I have COVID.
Bum, bum, bum.
So, this episode is appropriately titled Bemma Got Bovid.
Yes.
And in this episode, we're going to be talking about the past 3 years in COVID times because that's a thing. So
Can we just talk about how gorgeous Emma looks right now, considering she's got COVID?
Stop it.
Mind you, I look like a sewer I look like a rat that's crawled out of the sewer.
You don't look like a rat that's crawled out of a sewer.
Guys, I'm in my pajamas and I you can't tell anyone, but I just chucked a jumper on and glasses and blow dried my hair, so it looks like I'm somewhat put together, even though I'm in my pajamas.
So here's the thing. I technically, as of recording this video, don't have COVID right now, but I did have it yesterday. So I tested.
Oh, yesterday.
So I tested negative today.
That's exciting.
But,
I love that.
Yeah, so I'm okay.
You're okay. Well, I'm glad one of us is.
Yeah, I know, right? So now you may be wondering, Emma and Maya, you went to Harry Styles. Yes, we did, and it was absolutely phenomenal. It was
absolutely amazing. I'm in love with that man. He's so talented, but it was hella chaotic.
See, here's the thing. I went there not being a Harry Styles fan. Like, I liked his music, but I wasn't, like, a stan of him, if that makes sense.
So, whoa.
But I saw how good his concerts were, and I was like, damn, I'm really sorry that I'm not going. And then our friend Jazz was like, hey, got 2 extra tickets if you want to buy them. And Maya and I snapped them up. And honestly, I can safely say now I am a fan of Harry Styles. He is absolutely amazing, and I loved it. Anyway, the point I'm going with this...
I can't believe that concert is what, like, made you a fan. Like, come on.
People take time. Anyway. So now I do really love Harry Styles, and he is popping up on my Instagram feed all the time, and I'm okay with it. Why is your... What? Maya's now an octopus, guys. But, so...
My reaction to Emma not realising she was a Harry Styles fan before. Oh, no! I got done dirty!
So, basically, what happened was we went to Harry Styles, we got all dressed up. You can see our photos on our Instagrams.
Yeah, check out the Instagram. We looked good.
We did look good. We looked very good, I have to say. And then afterwards, I had a masterclass at my acting studio that I had to go to. And it was a 2-day masterclass. It was with the absolutely incredible Miranda Harcourt, who has worked on thousands of films, I'd like to say. And she's just like Jojo Rabbit. She's worked...
Oh my god, I love Jojo Rabbit.
Her daughter is the girl in that.
Oh, what the hell?
Yeah, I know. Like, so, you know,
That's huge.
she's worked with Nicole Kidman, Saoirse Ronan, like, you name them, she's worked with them. And a lot of people she's worked with like Academy Award nominees and stuff like that. Anyway, the point is, I didn't want to miss that opportunity, so I went. And I went with our friend of the podcast, Julia Locke. Shout out, Julia. Anyway,
shout out.
I went there and I didn't wear a mask. So, strike one for me. And I sat with my...
Strike one.
Yeah. I didn't wear a mask, and I sat next to this woman who was sneezing, and I thought it was just hay fever. I know now it's not. And I felt fine. I felt completely fine. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, I went to school. I went to school from 8:30 in the morning till 5 p.m. at night. And then I went to rehearsals, which involves a lot of hugging, a lot of jumping, a lot of intimate contact. And, you know, I felt completely fine. I didn't know I had COVID. If I knew, I obviously wouldn't have gone. Anyway, the next morning I got up to go to school, and I wake up really early to go. What are you doing?
My foot is itchy, and I wanted the back scratcher to scratch it, and I accidentally knocked something.
Anyway, I got up early because I have to get up early to get there on time, like 6.
Ew.
I know. And because I live in the western suburbs and my school is in the eastern suburbs. Yeah, I know, the shock and horror. So I got up and I thought I had hay fever, and my dad was like, Emma, you should test. I was like, nah, this is just hay fever. Anyway, I decided not to go into school that day because I was like, I'm actually feeling kind of like, I felt like I had a head cold, if that, like barely anything. Anyway, so I tested, and I was on the phone with, once again, friend of the podcast, Julia Locke, again, and I was on the phone with her, and she's like, Em, you should probably test. I'm like, I'm in the process of doing that, leave me alone. And it came back positive, and I've got my tests. Give me like 1 second.
Oh my god, guys, we're getting evidence right now.
I know.
Anyways, while she goes and does something important,
Look
at this back scratcher. It is working. I was looking around my surroundings. I'm in the garage. I was looking around my surroundings to find something to scratch my foot. Like, something that would like really give a good itch. Then I found an actual back scratcher. Anyways, that's my story.
So this is the positive, right? And you can see that there are 2
Emma,
lines.
You're pregnant?
Fuck you.
Who's the father?
You are. Anyway.
Me?
So this is the first test I took, right? And I didn't believe it. I thought it was dodgy because I just thought I had a head cold. Yeah. So I took another one.
So you're pregnant with 2 babies.
Yeah. And so here's
2 COVID babies.
So here's the thing, like, it came up within like 5 seconds of it being positive. And I was like, you have got to be kidding me. I have been in contact with like 30, 40, even 50 people with like play rehearsals, school, singing lessons, all that stuff. Because I didn't know. I had COVID. Anyway, so I had to then do the fun task of telling people, hey guys, I'm really sorry, but please test because I now have COVID. Emma. Yeah, I know, it's bad. So there's that, and I was like, oh shit. So I felt fine, and then Thursday I went down like an absolute, what's the saying? Went down like an absolute rock? No, drowned like a rock? The point is I became very sick, and I already had COVID. I had COVID in January 2022, back when like lockdowns and things were a thing.
Damn.
Yeah, I know. So I'd already had COVID, and this time was a lot easier for me because I'm also vaccinated, so I don't know if that helped, but hopefully it did. So it was nice to be able to like, because here's the thing. The first time I had COVID, I lost hearing in my right ear. I lost my voice entirely. I was shivery and shaky. I was hot and cold, and I was just so tired.
That's so weird. Like, when I had COVID, I was fine. Like, when my mum was like, Mya, the test is back positive, I like laughed, and I thought my mum was joking. I was like, psh, you're lying. And she's like, no, I'm being serious. I'm like, what? I only tested because everyone else was testing at uni.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? I feel fine. That whole week, I felt fine. I maybe was a bit more tired than I usually was. But other than that, I was completely fine. But then I remember there was like a random, I think there was like the flu going around or something like that. Then that took me down like a truck. Like, I was in bed for days. I didn't eat. I was just like sleeping for like 24 hours, like 48 hours. And then, yeah, COVID, it's weird how it's like affects different people and things like that.
Well, here's the thing. I've now had it twice. So that was my first time having it, right? And my second time having it, I got it and I didn't know I was sick until I tested positive. Whereas I felt sick before I tested positive. And so the first time, so the second time, I didn't know I was sick until a day after I tested positive. And then I lost my voice completely, which is rare for me because I've got a very loud, prominent, healthy voice, in my opinion.
So if anyone noticed why the world was a lot more like this the past few days, It's because Emma couldn't talk, and that's why.
Yeah.
You got peace.
Yeah, you got peace. Peace, love, and rubber ducks. Anyway, so... anyway, so I couldn't talk, but in November, I had sinus surgery to fix my sinuses, which meant this time I could breathe through my nose.
Oh, that's good.
So I could breathe through my nose, so congestion wasn't an issue, but I had a lot of, like, phlegm in my throat, and I was just, like, really... Sorry, I probably should have put a trigger warning before saying that.
TMI.
Anyway, but the point is, I felt better, I just felt tired. Like, I didn't have the shakes, I didn't have anything. But I'll tell you what I did have from both times.
What?
I didn't eat anything that wasn't fruit. Anything that wasn't fruit made me want to throw up. So my parents took care of me, and they cooked me dinner the first night, and it was steak and vegetables. And I looked at it.
Steak.
I looked at it, and the mere thought of eating it, I was literally on the verge of throwing up. Not figuratively, literally. So in the end, I asked Dad, I was like, I can't eat anything but fruit. Otherwise, it would make me sick. Like, literally, it was bad. It was actually, that's happened both times. So for the past 5 days, I have had fruit. The first non-fruit thing I ate was curry laska that I had yesterday, that I ordered from Uber Eats. Because everything else I'd had was fruit, because I couldn't eat anything else. Anyway, so then I tested yesterday. Sorry, this is a test from today, I should say. And it's negative, because you can see...
Ooh, hell yeah. How's to the yeah.
You can see a negative line.
A little rat who just interrupted my TwoInAPod episode.
Who's your little rat?
I'm kidding. I love you, little rat.
Who is that? Which sibling?
It's Finley.
Oh, tell her to say hi. Let her join the pod.
No, she's gone.
Oh, boo. Finley is Maya's little sister.
Yes, one of them.
Because Maya's the oldest.
Yeah, hence why I'm always just better at everything.
So that's my experience with COVID, and I found this time with COVID, I tested positive for longer than I did the first time. The first time I only tested positive for like 4 days. Today's like day 6 or something. Wait, how long ago? I tested positive on Wednesday morning, and it's Tuesday tomorrow. So however many days that is, 5, 6?
6 days, because then Wednesday would be a week. Come on, Emma. Get with the times.
Thank you.
Oh no, 5 days. Wait, what day is it today? I keep thinking today's Tuesday. Today's Monday.
Today's Monday, yeah. So, yeah, it wasn't very fun. And we are not releasing this episode until midway through the week.
Yes. I don't know what I was going to say, but if you can hear my foot scratching, I'm sorry.
You can't.
Good, because I got bitten out. I was helping Finley with her media project, so she had to take photos of me outside in the grass. I was out there for maybe like 5 minutes, and I've been attacked by mozzies, so I'm using this little scratcher. I know it's not helping, but like, it just feels nice.
It looks like a back scratcher. So if you're watching us on YouTube, you can see it's a back scratcher, but if you're listening to us on Spotify, it looks like a wooden fork with a long handle.
Yeah.
That's probably the best way to describe it. But no, so unfortunately
I'm pretty sure this has been in my family for like a long time.
But unfortunately I got COVID twice. So if there's anything I've learnt from it is make sure that you are vaccinated, wash your hands as much as you can without it being, problematic. Make sure that you have, social distancing when required. And for the love of God, wear a mask when you're around the vulnerable, because you don't want to get those people sick, because otherwise you'll just be an asshole. So don't be an asshole.
Yeah.
Being an asshole is not a good thing. And look, you may disagree
Emma would know because she's been an asshole in her past.
Yeah. You may disagree with the whole vaccine and lockdown mandates, and that's completely up to you. We on TwoInAPod are not here to tell you what you can and cannot do, because we are teenagers who know nothing. But
exactly.
what we
I
can...
like to say I know some things.
But what we can tell you is that the evidence shows that if you wash your hands and you keep your distance and you don't go out when you're sick, then you stop the spread of any virus, really. The cold, COVID, the flu, chickenpox.
I mean, that's what everyone usually did. Like, if you were sick, you just stayed home, you know?
Just,
yeah. Like, even in, like, primary school and stuff.
And if you can't stay home, well, that really fucking sucks, and that needs to be fixed. But hopefully you are in a position that you can stay home, and if you can, do, because you prevent others from getting sick. Simple as that. Like me, because I had to miss out on play rehearsal. Ha!
Nobody cares. I'm kidding.
Excuse you. I care about my play. Also, I've got my script here because speaking of which, I am in a play. It's called Puffs. You can find it.
She's plugging again.
Look at
what she does on this.
My script is like falling apart. Dude, plug yours play. Maya's in the Tempest, everybody.
I'm in the Tempest.
What character do you play, Mya?
Well, I'm glad you asked, because...
Are you sure about that?
Currently I'm playing Stefania, but it could go back to Stefano, so who knows?
Tell us the plot of the story, Mya.
Basically, there's a magical wizard who got banished to an island, and he and his daughter are there, and then he causes a tempest, which is a storm, and then the queen and all her friends and servants get shipwrecked on this island, and basically it's just them, chilling on this island, vibes and schnipes. Anyways.
And how does your character interfere with life in the Tempest?
Basically, my character is the queen's butler, and I get shipwrecked on one side of the island with a monster and a jester, and basically we want to try and rule the land, and we are just drunk the whole time.
That's so much fun. No, that is... So go see Maya's play, everyone. When is your play being played? When is your play being performed?
I'm so glad you asked me that question, because I don't remember.
Well...
But everyone, go see Puffs, because that's soon, and I'm actually going to be there, and I'm very excited.
Now, you may be asking, what is Puffs about? So Puffs is about the story of Harry Potter told through the perspective of Hufflepuff, and it's basically what happens to other students at Hogwarts, not actually called Hogwarts, it's called the Certain School of Magic and Magic, because we're not allowed to use those names, because copyright. But it is very funny. It is very entertaining. I play Megan Jones, who is just, she's a miserable teenager who's angry she got put into Hufflepuff, not into, like, one of the other more interesting houses. So
that literally sounds like you.
Yeah, I got typecast. Yeah.
Oh, that is such an Emma. Emma would be put in Hufflepuff. She's like, bitch, I'd be in Slytherin.
Actually, I took the Harry Potter test because I took it originally when I was 9 years old, back in year 5. And I took it, and it said that I was Gryffindor. But I took it again recently, now that I'm 18, turning 19. Yeah. I took it, and it gave me Slytherin.
Emma's turned into a bitch.
So... I am Slytherin now, and I'm happy about it, because I reckon Slytherin represents me pretty well.
I have done the test 3 times, and I've gotten 3 different houses.
3 different times?
Yeah, because I just make a lot of fake emails just so I can do it.
Wait, so what's your most current house?
I think my most current house, I think, is Hufflepuff.
That makes sense. But
I've gotten Ravenclaw and I've gotten Gryffindor, so I guess I'm just... Maybe I'm a divergent bit of Hogwarts.
You're definitely a Puff. Anyway,
call me a fucking Hufflepuff.
See, that's what my character says.
I like Hufflepuff. You know what I'm saying? Cedric Diggory's a Hufflepuff. Yeah. Made.
Anyway,
I'd get with him.
So come see my play, which is being performed at Essendon Theatre Company on the 23rd of March to the 1st of April. And Maya's play is going to be performed at some location that we will figure out when Mya puts it on her story, because hers is in around like late April, early May, so we'll figure it out. Like that. So we'll figure it out when the time comes, but the point is we will let you guys know. But no, the point is because this episode is about COVID. So
Sorry,
that is hideous. That is awful. Mya
Was it really bad?
That was
really bad?
so...
I wanted it to be like really like uncomfortable.
Yeah, it was. It was so awful. I will put you on mute. Mya just inhaled. Mya just inhaled her bloody headphone microphone.
Did it sound bad though? I wanted it to sound really bad.
It is. Okay, back to the topic, Mya.
Oh yeah, sorry. Back to what this is all about.
Mya and I were in years 11 and 12 when lockdown first hit Victoria, which was the longest lockdown city. Mya went to a Catholic school, I went to a public school, but nonetheless we were still in Victoria, which meant the rules were the same. How was your experience in that time?
Pardon? Sorry, how was my experience? I'd say not very good. I guess it's obviously different for everyone. I know, especially with school, I was very unmotivated. I'm one of those people, especially with having OCD, having a routine and leaving my house is really good for my, for my development, if that makes sense. Like, because especially when I was younger and my main, my main OCD thing that really ruined my life was my germs and contamination. And going through COVID and being at home 24/7, it means I had 24/7 access to showers, taps, new clothes. So, like, whenever something made me uncomfortable, I just did it. Whereas if I'm at school, I can't be like, oh, teacher, can I just, leave class so I can wash my hands like 20 times? Like, that's not realistic, So it was really hard being at home 24/7 because my OCD kind of went down. And what was really hard, especially during COVID, was that I was just recovering. From when COVID started, I just recovered over germs and things like that. And I started, being able to hug people again, being able to go outside, not worry about contamination and stuff like that. And then when COVID came, everything that I had been working in therapy with doctors completely contradicted itself, because everyone around me was like, washing your hands 24/7, use hand sanitizer, all this, don't touch people, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what the hell is going on? Why is everyone acting like I was? I'm trying to get better, and now everyone is telling me to do exactly what I've been spending the last few months in therapy to not do. So it was really hard because, yes, I had to be careful with COVID and things like that, but I also had to be careful I didn't go back into that OCD spiral, which I did a little bit. But yeah, it was crazy, just the fact that I was looking around and I was like, oh my God, people are acting kind of like what I've been acting like for years in silence. And now it was very scary, and it was really hard to, go through all that again, because, it was like, I finally had gotten better, and now everything in the world is contradicting what, I've been taught. So it was
How did you find, your year 12, your final year?
How was my final year?
Yeah.
Oh, it was sad. I say sad because, your final year is meant to be obviously you've got studies and stuff like that. But it's meant to be time to spend with your friends. And the fact that graduation, my mum wasn't allowed, and my parents and siblings weren't allowed to be there. She had to drop me off at the gate and then straight away leave. She wasn't allowed to go anywhere near me. The fact that we had to do certain fun days on Zoom calls. It was a nightmare. All my meetings with my co-captains was all online, and it was kind of sad, the fact that we couldn't have that fun year 12 experience because we were all on phone calls and things like that. But I did say we used to play a lot of Suspects, which is kind of like a fake Among Us game, and it was we used to do that all the time just to be able to communicate and be able to talk to each other, because we all had different classes, we were all on different teams, we barely saw each other, we lived far from each other, so it's not like we weren't even in people's areas to be able to do that walking thing and things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was kind of a sad year 12, if I do say.
So Maya and I went to school like less than 500 meters away from each other.
Yeah.
So, but we lived in different areas. So my experience of the COVID lockdowns was very different to yours. I loved it. I loved every second of it. I went into lockdown. We went into lockdown, right? And at that
Yeah.
time, I was having trouble with my friends. So I was
Yeah.
like miserable. My dog had just died. I didn't want to be at school. I hated school because like everything was going wrong. Everything that
Yeah.
seemed to be going wrong was going wrong at school. So when they said that I didn't have to go to school anymore, I
Yeah.
was over the moon. I got organized to the like you know me, Maya. You know I'm an
Yeah.
organized human. Lockdown made me an organized human.
That's
I
crazy.
I
How different.
started making my bed of a morning because it was in the background of my Zoom, so I was forced to. I
Yeah.
was able to sleep into a decent time and then got up, got dressed,
Oh yeah,
and did
I
my
did
work.
like the sleep-ins, not gonna lie. I did love that.
Because I don't have OCD, so I can't relate to you in that sense. So I didn't have the fear of that. But what I did
Yeah.
have was a critically ill grandmother, and I still do. So I couldn't go see
Yeah.
her, and there was lockdown.
That's yeah,
But
that's the thing. Like my grandfather, my has been quite ill in the past and things like that. And it was
yeah,
really hard. Even he said it, like he got really sad during lockdowns because all he wanted to do was just spend time with his grandchildren and his children, and like but like we couldn't like risk it because we don't want to get like, him sick, because then that would
yeah.
like be really detrimental. So
Well, my grandmother has chronic emphysema, which means she's got like tar in her lungs from smoking.
oh yes,
So
yes, yes.
it's not great. But here's the thing, right? So we couldn't see her, but my dad still got to go up to her even though she was outside of our 5K zone. And
Yeah.
she got to go up, dad got to give her meals and stuff like that. But here's the thing. I thrived. Like I started walking every single day. I had a cat. We adopted two dogs in lockdown. I
That's so good. You adopted two dogs in lockdown, and I lost two dogs in
Oh
lockdown.
no. So
It was very sad.
I adopted my
R.I.P. I
two
miss you.
dogs, Willow and Bailey. So here's the thing. We went into lockdown on the 11th of March, 2020. My birthday is the 10th of March.
Yeah.
So we went out to dinner.
Oh, that's so lucky.
I know. We went out to dinner the night of my birthday, and the next day we went into lockdown. The next day. So
That's crazy.
anyway, so I thrived. I got the best marks I'd ever gotten on my schoolwork because I got to
Holy
work by
shit.
myself. I was
I
learning
did not. I cried a lot.
I was learning new skills. I was like having the absolute time of my life. I did not like going into school. The only thing that sucked was the
Yeah.
fact that I was doing performing arts subjects. So I did theatre studies,
Oh,
drama,
that was
music,
nightmare. That was a
media.
nightmare.
Yeah, so theatre studies, music, media, drama, they are all things that are performance based and need to be in front of, an audience.
Yeah.
So that was the one thing that really sucked for me. But other than that, I was having the absolute time of my life. Fun fact about me, I'm dyslexic. So being able to do exams on a computer? Are you kidding? Like,
Yeah.
that's the greatest thing. And then what also sucked was coming into class because Maya and I did year 12, which is the final year in Victoria to do your schooling and exams. And we did our exams, but I don't know if this was the same for you, Maya, but it wasn't my school. You had to be masked up, you had to have your temperature checked, and then you had to be 1.5 meters away from everyone, and they had like air purifiers in the room, as if year 12 wasn't stressful enough already.
Yeah, and like we weren't allowed to have like air cons on and things like that.
Yeah.
Oh no, I remember in winter,
doors had to be
all
open.
The windows had to be open, and it was so freezing. I remember doing exams absolutely freezing.
Yeah, so that was like no, but I actually really enjoyed lockdown, and for me,
crazy.
My mental health improved because of lockdown because I got to be by myself and I got to do things and learn which sounds ridiculous. I got to learn who I was as a person
Yeah.
because I was being ostracized at my school by terrible
Yeah,
people.
that's awful.
Oh, look,
Mine,
yeah.
yeah, like mine was, I think I definitely got close. Me and my family already really close, and I think just all of us being in the house 24/7. I think my dad's a pilot, so he works a lot, and there was a lot of issues with travel and things like that. And then my dad got stuck in Perth for a few months, so I couldn't see him. Because of borders and things.
Oh yeah,
really,
Perth.
which was really
Context.
sad.
Context, because
Yeah.
I know we've got a lot of viewers overseas, believe it or not. So context for people who are overseas, Western Australia had some hard border shutdowns. They didn't want COVID in their vicinity, so they blocked off flights from other parts of Australia. So while cases were going up in Melbourne, Sydney, South Australia, Tasmania, and Queensland, Darwin and WA, so NT and WA, were thriving because they didn't have the cases. But in the end, 2022, people just went, fuck it. And
yeah, because my best friend, Kalila, shout out, who lives in Darwin, would we'd share experiences about COVID and things like that, and she'd be like, it doesn't even exist up here, whereas I was I couldn't leave my house in months and things like that, and it was kind of a really sad time, and I felt really my family did not do well in lockdown. It was just hard on us because we're very family orientated, we like to get outdoors and things like that, and yeah, my mum not being able to see her mum and dad and her sister and vice versa was hard. And also my poor brother did grade prep and grade 1 during lockdown,
because it's easier for the older kids.
Pardon?
Sorry? It's easier for older kids because we can just adapt.
Yeah, so his first year of schooling was all online, and I remember we did his 100 days of prep, and we had to put balloons in the dining room, and there was a little sign, and we gave him a party hat for and he was dressed up, and it was just him alone dancing in our dining room whilst he's on Zoom with all these new friends. And you don't think about it, but that's the years where you start learning how to properly read, properly write, socialize. And my brother didn't get that, and he and it was crazy to think that also little kids were getting exposed to all this stuff. Some of the stuff my brother would say, being or even cousins being oh, are they allowed to come near me because what if they're not vaccinated and all this shit? And I'm you're literally a child. That's not something you should be worrying about.
The news,
kids that young, they were 4, 5, that's crazy.
I don't know about your household, but my parents used to turn on the news, and the news would just be on all the time. And I kept thinking, because my brother was overseas, he was in New Zealand, so yeah, so that's interesting. I have 2 brothers, both older than me, and the middle child, Julian, he was in New Zealand, and they had a very, very strict lockdown policy, but because they didn't let any other flights in, he was like, oh yeah, well, I've gone out. And I'm like, well, we're still in lockdown. And the night, but he couldn't do his graduation ceremony until this year. And
damn.
Yeah, so the night he came back to Australia, it was 2021, I believe. And he came back, and it was the night before we went into another lockdown, and we were like, Julian, you have to get on the plane now or you won't be allowed in the country. It was just but my personal experience, and I was probably very lucky, I loved it. I had a routine in place, and that's really what made me the person I am today, quite resilient, quite driven and focused and stuff. Because without that, I don't think I would have learnt the value of organization or self-drive, because as much as school prepares you, I said, as much as school does that, it's still when you get out into the real world, I say real world, we're still at university and school, so that does, universities and schools do mollycoddle you a little bit, but not as much as high schools. But here's the thing, you need to learn to be self-sufficient, and for me, that's what lockdown taught me, because I'd get up, I'd make my bed, I'd cook breakfast or make breakfast, and then I'd do my classes. And as soon as there was a break, I took my dog Willow, because I didn't have Bailey at that time. I took Willow who's at my lab, for a walk around, for an hour walk. I would come home, shower, and then go to my next class, and then so on and so on. And then I'd get up and cook dinner because I had time and I had a schedule, and I'm not.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm probably organized now. Like, here, you can see this. This is my diary for 2023. You can't see it on Spotify, but it's blue and pink. And it is packed to the rafters full of events, because, fun fact about me, I don't have a single day off. So me having COVID was insane. Like, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm at school. Tuesday, Thursdays, I'm at rehearsals from 7:30 till like 10 most times. Thursdays, I have singing lessons. Fridays, we normally film Two in a Pod, but it's my birthday this week, so we're not. Surprise!
Exactly.
Surprise! I'm turning 19. Anyway, so, and then Saturdays I work, and then Sundays I have a full day of rehearsals. So, you know, but the thing is, I'm not burnt out because I'm organized.
I love that.
And I'm doing what I love. That's another thing. Do what you love and you won't feel exhausted. Also, can I just mention, how much better is this episode than the one we are never releasing?
Oh, yeah.
So Mya and I recorded an episode last week when we were getting ready for Harry Styles, and it was the most nothing episode we have ever created in our entire lives.
Yeah.
I don't think there was a single memorable moment from that, except from when Mya nearly poked her eye out with a makeup brush.
I don't even remember that memorable moment.
Look, I reckon what we'll do is we'll break it into segments eventually and release it as like TikToks. So put in the comments or DM us if you want to hear that. We've also got your drunk episode that we have to release, because that's absolutely hilarious.
Huh? Oh, I know.
We're gonna cut it down and cut out names, obviously. But like,
I can't even remember when that was filmed.
That was filmed, my friend, in the winter of 2022.
Oh god. Oh my god, the stuff I would be complaining about then.
Has much changed?
No.
Oh, men. Oh, men. But I'll tell you what I did do yesterday, even though I was still positive. Was I still positive yesterday? What day is it today?
Monday.
Time is blurry. The point is, yesterday I deep cleaned my entire room.
Oh, wow.
So I wiped down everything. I got rid of all my rubbish. I put 3-4 loads of washing on, which was like sheets, towels. And I deep cleaned the floor with like a vacuum cleaner. And then I used this wonderful stuff, which is Glen 20 spray, all over my room. I've got an air purifier in my room to like decovify it. And then, you know, I washed all my water bottles and stuff like that. And honestly, that was so therapeutic.
I love that.
It was so good to do. I was like, damn, my room was disgusting before, and I'd only cleaned it 2 weeks prior.
Oh my god.
So I was like, what on earth? So if that's one thing that COVID did, it was forced me to actually clean my room.
You know what I did today?
Please don't say cry.
I actually did cry today, but that's not what I was going to say. I was going to say I worked. I'll tell you a little bit. So I worked.
Yay.
And I went home and then I cried, and then I got ready for ballet, and then I taught little kitties, and then I had my ballet class, and then I went home and had pasta, and then I helped Finley with her photo shoot thing, and now I'm here.
Also, guys, there's nothing wrong with crying. I'm just slightly concerned about Mya.
No, it's okay, guys. You know, things just, you know, you go through highs and lows in life, and I don't know if, like, you probably can say I'm not as laughy as I usually am, but you know what? We still thrive. We're still, as this random guy at a bar once told me, we just ride the waves. We're just riding the waves together. We're on the same
What?
wavelength.
Ew,
Like we're
gross.
just riding the waves.
Who's this random guy? Is it someone I know, or is it genuinely a random guy?
No, genuinely, this random guy like came up to me and started talking about like random like life stuff.
Oh,
was,
was
like,
this at the Anglers?
The waves.
Was this at like the Anglers?
Yes.
Yes, I remember this story.
Such a good memory. Yeah.
Thank you. No, but you know what I did for the first time in 7 days? I washed my hair. And it's gone back to being curly, not just matted and gross.
I was about to say, it looks really nice.
Oh, thank you. And I also painted my nails. Which,
I was about to say that before too, because you did something close to the camera. Look at this, guys.
Can you see? Hold on, I'll zoom in. So it's multichrome from yellow to green with a holographic top coat on it. And it's from my favorite nail polish company, because every other nail polish can absolutely suck a lemon, which is Holo Taco. If they want to sponsor us, that would be great.
Oh my god, I'd love if they sponsored us.
I want nail
polish. Check out
Simply
Nailogical, Simply Not Logical, and Simply Ben Logical. I think there's a Ben one as well.
I like how we're sponsoring them.
Literally, they're such... I love her videos so much.
But I'll tell you what helped me overcome COVID, in a sense. I rested, which is really beneficial because fucking hell, I was tired. And I took vitamin C, cough syrup, and my favorite of all, Lemsip tablets. Because...
I was excited. I thought something exciting was going to be said.
What? No. I'm not an exciting person.
I thought you were going to be like, and watching Bellamy Blake in the 100 or something like that.
I did watch The Menu, though. The Menu was really good. Have you watched it?
Did you watch it?
It's so good. So good.
How weird is it? He's like, I am the masterpiece. And then... Yeah.
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 It was...
And then he... It was really weird, but it was so cool, but it was also really
spoilers, weird. We might be saying spoilers, because Mya and I are bad at not knowing what people know.
Yeah, spoilers. If you want to watch The Menu, then don't listen right now.
Yeah, but, oh my god.
Skip.
Anya Taylor-Joy just... Oh, God, I love
her.
And, Ralph Fiennes is just...
Who does he play?
The chef.
Oh, the chef.
He's Voldemort!
Oh!
Yeah, he's Voldemort. He is Voldemort.
Oh, he's just scary.
He's amazing. He is amazing. Voldemort's in our play, but he goes by Lord Voldy, and the guy who plays him is absolutely hilarious.
I love that.
It's the weirdest thing of absolute all time. But this episode has been 42 minutes long, which I didn't expect, because this is a ridiculous amount of time to be talking about COVID and my sneezing/coughing.
Yeah, it was a cough.
It was a cough.
I'm a bit sick, not gonna lie. I have tested multiple times, so it's
I think
COVID,
you need to just...
like...
Something's going around, because...
Yeah, it is. And I think it's also just... It's probably also the fact that I'm just, like, really tired and shit as well.
Anyway, guys. Well, there won't be an episode this Friday, because, like I said, it is my 19th birthday, and believe it or not, I have a social life, so...
I know, she actually does.
She does, but my social life on Friday is going to be involving my family and going out to dinner, but, you know, still something. But,
it's still socializing.
But anyway...
We couldn't do in lockdown.
Yeah, which that is true.
See how I brought it back?
Fun fact, but that's true, every lockdown, my birthday hasn't been affected.
That's actually, I think, same as mine.
Yeah.
All my siblings and my mum and dad.
My mum and dad did because they're August, and my brother did because he's May, and then my other brother did because he's also August. But mine was pretty solid for not being in lockdown, which is great because my birthday usually falls on a public holiday.
That's so good. My birthday was in high school. It was, oh, sorry.
Jesus Christ.
That was so gross. Now I'm sideways. Anyways, it's okay. We can go sideways. Yeah. Oh my God. I'm causing issues. My birthday in like high school and primary school was either A, on school camp, or B, the first or second day of school.
Gross.
So I remember my first day, year 7, was my birthday, and I went to school, and they used to put on the bulletin, and I was, like, hella nervous, and everyone looked at me, and they're like, it's your birthday? And I was like, yeah. And then they're like, happy birthday, and I'm just sitting there.
Were
like,
you the
I don't
kid that used to
know.
love people singing happy birthday or hate it?
First of all, who the hell loves it? I hate it.
I was that kid. I used to love it when I was younger. Not now. Not now.
I was like, okay, thanks guys, but it was so awkward because I was so nervous, and then all these random people I don't know were singing happy birthday. Then one time in year 12, mind you, my cohort is not big. My cohort is tiny in year 12, right?
Yeah.
And I was also school
All
captain.
girls school.
Not to toot my own horn, but I was my birthday on retreat, and they're like, we're gonna sing happy birthday to Mya, and one of the girls goes, who's Mya?
Wow.
I was like, sis, I have been in your grade for how many years? I know literally everything about you. There's there was barely, everyone knew each other because there was barely any of, there was not that much girls in my year level. And I was also school captain, so, I talked quite a lot. But you know what? Respect to that girl. I didn't even know who it was, but you know what? I hate you, so I'm kidding. Actually, no, I'm not. You should know who I am.
Yeah, you should know who Mya is, guys. But I reckon Mya and I are going to start a Kickstarter soon because we're going to get some professional mics and get some good quality YouTube content coming up with editing and stuff like that. So keep an eye out for that, guys, because if you want to support us in that way, you definitely can, and we will put you through the details on our story. But if you can't, because money is tight, as we very much know, being a independent podcast channel, you can always just like and share our stuff, because the more people who see this stuff, the more support that we get, which means more good quality videos, unlike this video, which is currently being filmed on FaceTime.
Yeah.
So, on that note, if you want to hear more from TwoInAPod, you can email us.
Am I okay?
No, you're not. You can DM us on Instagram at @2_in_a_pod. If you want to hear more from us directly, you can email us at TwoInAPodcast@gmail.com. Thank you. And if you want to follow us on, if you want to follow us on, excuse my dying in the background. If you want to follow us on TikTok, Mya, what's our TikTok?
2_in_a_pod. Also 2_in_a_pod_. No, it's 2_in_a_pod.
Is it podcast? I thought it was 2_in_a_podcast.
It is.
So if you want to follow us on TikTok, the correct address is 2_in_a_podcast. So that is all from us this week, guys. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and hopefully next week things will be back to normal, unless Mya gets COVID. Hopefully not. But yeah.
Let's pray no. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, you can wish me a happy birthday in the chat. No, I'm kidding. I'm so kidding. Don't do that. All right. All right, everyone. We are tuning out.
She's not kidding.
Oh, no, I actually please don't. Anyway, we are tuning.
Happy birthday to you.
So it's not my birthday. So, all right.
Happy birthday, dear. See, I'm turned into that elephant from Sing.
Oh, the pick me one.
Yeah.
Anyway, on that note, goodbye, TwoInAPodders. We will see you next time, whenever that is, because we are unreliable.
Yeah.
All right.